Scott Powell, president of Skyline Corporate Communications. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure to be back.
Always a pleasure to have you here, Scott. Tell us a little bit, again, about Skyline Corporate Communications. Can you reintroduce the firm to our audience?
Skyline Corporate Communications Group, LLC, is a investor relations and corporate communications consulting firm with locations in New York City and Boston. We advise small and micro-cap public companies on all facets of their investor relations and corporate communications platforms to really help them communicate more effectively and to a wider audience to raise their profile and visibility within the financial community.
Perfect. And talking about raising that profile, right, and the awareness in that investor community, why is investor relations so important for public companies when it comes to raising that awareness?
It's so important for a number of reasons. Investors in the United States, investors globally, are very familiar with large cap stocks, the companies that we're all very familiar with. But investors are not as familiar with smaller public companies. They're just not household names. So it's really important to build awareness for these smaller companies because it's like competing for shelf space at a supermarket or a retail store. And so it's fighting for that attention, and it's understanding the best metrics to get on the radar screen of investors, because this will ideally allow the company's stock to be fairly valued vis-a-vis comps in the public marketplace. Ideally, it'll help with liquidity in the shares. Liquidity is always a good thing if companies are looking to raise capital or incentivize management teams with stock options. Having liquidity in the shares is important, and just doing generally a good job being able to communicate the story in a clear, concise, and effective manner to tell investors why they should care about a particular company and what is unique or different about this particular company that should be of interest to investors.
Perfect. That makes sense. So when it comes to delivering that message, what specific services does Skyline offer to make that come together?
Sure. So we offer traditional investor relations services, which are written and oral communications consulting work. So helping companies write press releases, edit press releases, helping them write shareholder letters at the end of a calendar year or fiscal year, helping the CEO or CFO practice his or her presentation skills before going in front of an investor or in front of a conference or in front of the media, introducing our clients to the financial community, investment banks, research analysts, and so forth, helping companies with their social media platforms, help them understand how to grow the follower base, helping them understand what content they should be posting on their social media channels, and then outreach to the media, to the financial press, to the major media outlets in the United States to try and get our clients interviews or articles in the financial press. So those are some of the key tactics and strategies that we employ for increasing visibility for our clients.
Got it. Okay, tell us about your Skyline Signature Series. Can you share some details on that?
Sure. So that is a proprietary branded webinar event where we invite generally the CEOs of our client companies to present to a carefully curated professional investor audience from Skyline. And we're hosting these around once or twice per month, and allows for our client companies to tell their story to a larger audience, similar to presenting at a conference where they would be able to get in front of a large audience. So we're offering that service to our clients with the idea of having the company story get exposed to a larger investor audience, and then having the company follow up with these investors, analysts, bankers, and so forth afterwards to continue engagement with them and help them better understand the company story. What's really advantageous about this is there's none of the old travel costs or food and drink costs that were typically associated with these types of in-person events that might be held at a restaurant or a hotel or something like that, where you would have a lot of travel costs and entertainment costs. Here, it's just a Zoom link and an hour of the CEO's time. So it's very cost effective and very effective in general in terms of getting the story across to a new constituency.
Awesome. Very, very interesting on that front. Now, I see that Skyline is also about to sponsor a conference. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So actually, the conference is today and tomorrow, and it's the Virtual Investor Conference Series, the Small Cap Growth Forum. run by the OTC Markets and the virtualinvestorconferences.com. So we're the primary sponsor of that conference. I gave the keynote presentation this morning, and it's a 2-day conference running today and tomorrow, featuring a number of OTC QB and OTC QX traded companies across industries, some really exciting stories and some very interesting companies. So we're very pleased to be a sponsor of this conference, and pleased to learn more about many of the presenting companies.
Amazing. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of good and a lot of interesting content that's going to come out of that. So very excited to watch it unfold. Where can people find more information about Skyline CCG? Where should they go to get details about how they can get started working with you?
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael. So if anyone would like to learn more about Skyline Corporate Communications Group, they could go onto our website, www.skylineccg.com, for more information. Feel free to email or call us if you have any further questions about Skyline and our services.
Outstanding. Scott Powell, president of Skyline. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us more about the company. Can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the time.